that I should get like a talking to from Alex for this. It was great.
Yo, happy Sunday, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show presented by YAHOO Daily Fantasy Sports. I'm Dave Loughran at Loughy_D, LOUGHY_D for those of you podcast listeners, joined by Josh Engleman at Josh Engleman, coming at you on a Sunday morning for a 5-game slate kicking off or tipping off at 6 p.m. What's good, bro?
Not much, man. Not much. Ready to put this one to bed. I'm hopping in the car the moment this show ends, driving to Pennsylvania. So I'll make sure to wave at you while I don't go that direction. But nevertheless.
So how long are you there for?
Till Wednesday.
Okay, so you're in luck. Today's the last day that's going to be cold for like the next 3 weeks. We're getting all high 50s and 60s for the next couple of weeks.
They got, I don't know how to say this without saying it the way that I'm going to say it, but it's just funny. They got 5 inches yesterday.
I mean, you're a grown man. You can figure it out. I would assume you're talking about accumulation of snow.
Oh, yeah. The weather was bad, too.
Yeah. I did some crazy stuff yesterday. I was kind of bored. By the way, what's going on, everybody? Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. Happy to have you with us on a weekend. Thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to join down below, hit that join. Get the free super chats each month, the custom emojis, those sweet badges. Tony in there yet? Yes, he is. The only one still. I don't know how he got there before everybody else. That sweet iced up badge. We'll always prioritize your questions and comments along with our premium Discord members. And hey, if you're a member, you're getting in on our fun March Madness bracket. Bunch of the hosts are going to be in there. We're going to have some sick prizes at the end of all that. So we'd love to have you join. I did some wild stuff yesterday, right? I was kind of bored. Very blustery blizzard-like conditions here. Okay.
Yeah. Same.
And we probably got like 3 inches. It was calling for Friday. We probably got 3, but it all came down within like 2 hours. Now, are you familiar with who Wim Hof is?
Yes.
You are. Okay. The Iceman.
Yes.
Well, I said to myself, Josh, I'm going to do some Iceman shit today. I'm going to see how long I can stand out in this blizzard-like conditions in bare feet and nothing but shorts.
You back? You on drugs again?
Dude, my wife asked me that. No, and it was awesome. I felt alive.
Until you died?
No, my feet got really cold.
No shit.
By the way, this is not something you do. This is something you do sober because you're not on drugs. You think about what I'm saying here. Think about what I'm saying, right? You do this because you need to feel alive. You need to be exhilarated. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. How long do you think you can make it?
Well, today I had to go outside to turn the pool pump back on, and boy, was that concrete cold for 15 seconds. I was just like, man, I need socks. So I don't know, 15 seconds.
Okay. I went over a minute. I think I could have gone longer, but I think that the wind, like the 20-mile-per-hour winds in the snow, is real tough on you. But
yeah, what you should really do is never that again.
But why? It's fun, man. Getting a little older now. I got to do stuff. This Wim Hof stuff's crazy. I can hold my breath for almost 4 minutes straight.
That's really good for all those times where you need to do that.
But dude,
when you get buried alive or like trapped under a no. I don't want to.
Next time I'm snowboarding and
the next time that my breath stops for 4 minutes, I'm dead.
Next time there's an avalanche.
Yeah, and I'm all right, man.
See, Kobe gets it. He said ice cold showers are the key to life. Yeah, man. The cardiovascular system, all of that helps prevent heart disease. Yeah. It's not coming from me. It's coming from the Iceman himself.
Yeah, take those cold showers, and then when you're done, immediately smoke a cigarette. Great idea, dude. We're really worried about heart disease right now. That's the benefit you're going to give me.
This guy held his breath for 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So these lungs the capacity is wildly impressive. Let me tell you that much. I should hustle.
Are you just training your lungs so that you can smoke cigarettes better?
I should hustle people. David Porter says 4 minutes. No way. I guarantee you I got 3 minutes and 45 seconds straight. Guarantee it. I did it yesterday.
All right. Well, what you need to do is tape your mouth shut, and then we pinch your nose shut.
Sure.
And then we'll run the timer on the stream.
Okay. 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Guarantee it. I mean, at least over 3.5 minutes. But yeah, no doubt.
You're gonna be there and you're just like,
no, you could do it. You could do it. I'm telling you.
I mean,
everyone says,
sure people can do it. Yes.
No, it's funny that the funny thing is nobody believes me, right? Go look up the Wim Hof breathing technique and do it and get back to me. And you're going to say, Loughy, I'm sorry that I doubted you. I mean, maybe you guys can't go that long. I'm just impressive in that respect, but I guarantee you will be shocked with what you're able to do. Wim Hof breathing, WIMHOF breathing technique. Do it. It's 10 minutes long. Okay. And then when he says, if you want to hold your breath longer, do that and set your stopwatch. Went 3 minutes and 43 seconds yesterday. Do it.
Oh, so you can't even get to 3:45.
Okay. Sorry. 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Pretty impressive.
I will never do this.
You guys do it. Why not? I don't know why you wouldn't. It's pretty impressive. And you feel great afterward. You feel great. No? Okay.
I mean, this is coming from the guy that just was like, hey, I stood out in the winter storm with my shoes off yesterday for a minute.
Kobe believes me. He doesn't know why, but he does, because it's the dumbest thing to lie about. I mean, you would agree with that, right? Really stupid thing to be like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know why you would lie about it.
All right, Jordan, I'm going to task you with this. After the show, do it, okay? And report back to me. Okay? Let me know what you think. You don't lose any brain cells, David. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. And Not Sure says, I agree with Josh, totally useless. It's not useless. I may need to use that sometime. Anyway, We got 5 games, Josh. How you feeling this morning? You got the in-laws over?
They have since left, as has my wife. So when I leave here today, no one's here. So I got a real big, illustrious goodbye. I know my wife's birthday is tomorrow, so we went out for dinner for her yesterday.
Going anywhere good?
We did go somewhere good, and it was fantastic.
Nice. I
had beef pho with some Wagyu meatballs, tenderloin, some other such beef chunks in it. It was delicious.
I like that.
She got a steak. My father-in-law got some sort of beef and pork cheek ragu pasta nonsense that was delicious too. It's good stuff.
Sounds a bit much.
It was not cheap.
I wouldn't imagine it was. So you got 5 games to talk about today. As far as early slate goes, we weren't going to touch on that here. However, we're going to have early slate ownership projections. I'm pretty sure we have an article. I think we have a free article that comes out for the early slate and some other stuff. So if you're over at awesemo.com, you can catch all of that there, unless you wanted to cover the early slate, Josh.
No, not in the slightest.
No, I mean, look, we just do what we're told. I suppose we could, but we don't need to. The main slate's pretty big as well. $300,000 up top on DraftKings. FanDuel's got some big stuff going on. Yahoo's got a nice little prize pool happening today. So yeah, let's dive into it. Now, first things first, 6 o'clock tip Eastern time, not 7. So you got 3 7 o'clock games, a 6 and a 9. All right. Now with Philly, they're coming off an embarrassingly bad loss at home. Embarrassingly bad. God, I mean, you actually DM'd me halfway through that game, maybe third quarter. You're like, good job, Philly. And I think all I said was embarrassment to the city.
Yeah,
so
I was not happy considering how much Philly I had.
It wasn't good. And the thing is, Joel Embiid, if you get 4 quarters out of him, he's getting there. But he didn't because, well, they got destroyed. And everyone else on that team was terrible. I can't think of another player on the Sixers that day that was even half competent. And even he struggled shooting. That's why free throws are so important.
Yeah.
But they go up against Orlando. What's that?
It was bad.
Oh, it was terrible. They go up against Orlando today. They're 12.5-point road favorites. 12.5-point road favorites. And they should come in there and eviscerate them. Now, who knows if they will or not, but that kind of feels like what we're going to get. Philadelphia 76ers, outside of Danny Green, are fully healthy today. And I'm expecting this to be a bloodbath. What are your thoughts though, just as we kick this slate off, on all of the high price guys today? You know, LeBron's dropped 50 plus real points in two of his last three. I think two of his last three. You have Embiid, you have Harden, you have John Morant, SGA, who drops 30 plus real points every game, Trae Young. Those are kind of all of our top tier guys today. If you want to throw Devin Booker in, fine.
Yeah, so I like the bottom end of the 10K guys. I like Trae Young and Shea more than I like Embiid, LeBron, Harden, or Ja from a DraftKings perspective, at least. If I'm going to anybody else, I actually think Embiid, LeBron, Harden, and Morant all look very, very similar relative to salary, just because I don't know if you can assume Harden and Embiid are going to play like, you know, let's just say that they normally play 36 minutes. I think you have to assume that they play like 35 or 34 in this one against Orlando. So it makes everybody else look a little bit more similar. I think Trae stands out dramatically at 10-1. I think Shea stands out dramatically at 10-3. You just get a little bit more savings. I have both of those guys pretty significantly ahead of Morant in this spot now that Dylan Brooks is potentially back.
Hey, Budsing says 2 goats. Nice interview the other day, Josh. Good shit.
Thank you. Check it out. High Stakes. Myself, Neil Orfield, breaking it down for like 90 minutes.
Yeah, Neil's doing a great job on that show too.
It's fun. I had a really good time. He is.
He's a natural. Had some great guests. Had Josh on. I would definitely suggest you guys go over there and check it out. You want to get into the minds and the processes of some of the best DFS players out there. It's a good place to be. With Harden and Joel Embiid, the one thing that is worth noting, at least, is that in close games, Harden's getting like 38 minutes in some of these games. I don't know if this game stays close, but at this point, we just have to assume it will. Embiid plays around 36 minutes in a competitive game. You're pretty much seeing him capped there right now. You had mentioned it, but just I was reading chat. Actually, I was reading that flattering comment towards you. Which one of these guys do you like more today?
Basically exactly the same.
Okay.
On DK, I had Harden come out of my sim at 11.2%. I had Embiid come out at 11.6. I mean, they're relative to salary, they're basically the same. Embiid gets dinged a little bit for only being able to be put in the center spot, where Harden gets point guard, shooting guard, and you get a little bit more flexibility. But I don't see much different between those two guys. Embiid makes up for that slightly less amount of playing time by being just a gigantically better per minute performer.
With Orlando, you're still waiting on a couple pieces here, specifically Mo Bamba, who's questionable. Coming off,
I gotta stop you quick. I gotta ask you a question because it's Philly.
Please.
Did you see their rotations against Brooklyn? Have you paid attention? Did you look at it at all in depth? Because there's one thing that stood out to me big time, and I don't know what to make of it right now.
All right, hold on a second. Let me pull it up real quick.
All right, I don't have to lead you for this one. I'm just going to give you what I'm seeing.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm going to preface what I'm saying. You tell me what you think.
Go ahead.
They only played 8 guys in the first half. So Furkan Korkmaz and Isaiah Joe and Paul Reed were all basically like garbage time participants that got in either in the fourth quarter or, in Korkmaz's case, very late in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Are they going to be playing an 8-man rotation today? Is that a goal? Or do you think that one of Isaiah Joe and Korkmaz sees the floor in the first half?
So I would say you get 9. Mind you, Danny Green's out, so he's a normal part of that bench rotation.
Right.
You got Maxey, Embiid, Harden, Harris, Thibault starting. And then Nang has played pretty solid basketball. That guy is coming off the bench, getting decent minutes. Shake is definitely getting minutes. DeAndre Jordan, I'm just working through this because I hadn't looked at last game. DeAndre Jordan obviously getting the backup center minutes. So they're locked in, right?
Yeah.
Korkmaz didn't play at all against Chicago.
Right.
And he is essentially fallen out of the rotation. So the question is then, is it just like Isaiah Joe and Paul Reed? Because if that's the case, then it is possible that you only see 8. Now, I do think this is slightly different. It's Orlando. It's not Brooklyn. I do think Doc Rivers could have condensed those rotations just based on the matchup, based on the hysteria of everything. And it didn't work. Not that more Isaiah Joe would have mattered, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw 9 today. I really wouldn't. 9 could be the max. Yeah, 8 does seem a little tough though for this matchup, for this spot. What do you think?
If you think it's 8, if you think that first half is reflective upon what they want to do now with Danny Green out, that's a lot of extra minutes that have to be distributed through 8 people. It makes Philly just in general look a little bit better. The Thibault, Milton, Niang group has the ability to pick up enough minutes to be very interesting plays in the mid threes. Even if you think it's 9, I don't know if it's Korkmaz or Joe. I would probably lean Joe, but there's enough minutes to go around on a 5-gamer where there's some value here on Philly that's not going to get talked about because we don't really know what they're doing at the bottom of the rotation. I was really surprised to see that they only played 8 guys in that first half.
For sure. It was. But the back of their bench just isn't very good.
No, it's not.
To
be fair, neither was the front of their bench in that one.
No. But like Niang and Milton really aren't that bad. It's just that game was terrible.
No, they're full on rotation pieces everywhere.
Luis Jose Lopez says, as a former TV host, I applaud both of you guys for knowing how to extend content and make it entertaining. Bravo. Thanks, man. Yes, we do know how to extend content. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I might not be all that good at doing the content I'm supposed to do, but I'm definitely good at filling the time.
Can sure as shit extend it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to Orlando then. So Bamba's coming off a huge game on Friday night, 27-12 against Minnesota, in which they won. They were pretty big dogs there. Jalen Suggs also questionable with this ankle. Is this the same injury he's been questionable with? Yeah, it is. So he should play. I'm assuming Jalen Suggs is on the court tonight, unless he aggravated something that I don't know about.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would think he's going to be there. If Bamba sits, though, and I'm assuming you had Bamba in, I think right now you kind of just have to.
I do.
But if he sits, what does that do for, like Okiki? Does it do anything for essentially anybody else here in this rotation in what really isn't that great of a spot?
I don't think it does anything at all. They're inundated with players at this point, depending on who's healthy.
Yeah,
you can make a case they have
a
case they have an 11-man rotation right now if everybody's in.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're going to cut. Admiral Schofield and Brazdeikis play from time to time. They can very easily just play Robin Lopez a little bit more as well. So I'm not so sure that Bamba matters to anyone outside of Bamba. And Bamba now 5,900 on DK, 4,400 on FanDuel.
Wendell Carter Jr. just continues to produce, double after. I think he has, let me see here, ready? He has since over the last month, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He has double doubles in 8 of 9 games. So he's essentially an automatic double at this point.
Yeah. I mean, was a bad trade for the Bulls.
Well, I don't even remember what the trade was at this point.
It was Wendell Carter and there were other pieces involved, but Wendell Carter's the key piece here. And then the Bulls got Vooch, obviously, and some picks. But if I'm Orlando made out like bandits in that trade. I'm not confident that I would want Vooch over Wendell Carter Jr. just in a vacuum over the next 3 years, given their age and just their roles.
Straight up. I don't think so either.
And now the Bulls are going to get, or the Magic get the Bulls pick this year and like another one in like 2 years or some shit.
Vooch isn't a bad player at all, but Wendell Carter Jr. just seems to be getting better every game.
Yeah.
He just continues to improve. The ceiling on Wendell Carter is definitely higher. There's no doubt about that. And he's a lot younger. God, what is he, like 8 years younger than Vooch probably?
It's got to be something like that, yeah.
Take a guess. Take a guess at their ages.
Let's see. I'm going to say that Vooch is like 29. Wendell Carter Jr. is probably like 22, 23.
Okay, so you're right on 22 for Wendell Carter. Vooch is 31 and a half.
Really?
Yeah. He's been around.
He has been around a while. Yeah.
He's been around since 2011 with the Sixers.
Yeah, I forget that he was even on the Sixers. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's been in the league for over a decade. So I agree with you. Do you want to get to any Wendell Carter Jr. today?
Sure. I mean, I find Orlando really, really unappealing. Like none of these guys really have a ton of minutes upside that's predictable. It's always somebody that just flies into like 32, 33 minutes. So I think he just kind of cast a pretty wide net for the Magic, whether that's Carter, Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, Suggs if he plays. I think you can get to all of these guys in low doses. I don't see anybody that I would call a priority from Orlando.
Okay. Hey, Jordan, nice work on the injuries because I definitely didn't put them in today. My man, this guy coming through once again. I was just
finally does something.
I mean, come on. Indiana.
He sits back while we do the real work.
Oh. Do you have anything else for Orlando?
I mean, obviously pay attention to that injury news. Like RJ Hampton's at 6% ownership on DraftKings. That's where I'd be taking chances at like one of those dumb Philly bench guys.
Okay. Memphis. I'm sorry. Memphis and OKC. Let me move on to this one. Memphis Grizzlies, 12.5-point favorites, 229.5 point total. So there's one place we always have to start. It's with the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant is the funny thing about this slate is recently on Memphis slates, you're looking at Morant and going, yeah, you know, he's like 10-8. It's hard to get there. You have a Doncic or Giannis or even LeBron or Jokic or any of them. But among all the top tier players today, Ja Morant is kind of in. He is clearly a price tier below guys like Embiid and LeBron and even kind of James Harden, at least on DraftKings. So and he's facing the Oklahoma City Thunder. Do you want to take some shots there, or does it just make more sense to say, I'm going to go to these other guys, pay up a little more or pay down a little more from Ja?
I mean, I think he's basically properly owned. The Dylan Brooks piece is the real problem here because that guy just eats usage when he comes back. He is questionable here. I have him in. Now, I don't think that he's just going to dive into his normal 30 minutes, but Dylan Brooks, in the games that Bane, Brooks, and Morant have all played this year, Dylan Brooks has a 29% usage rate. That's not fun to reintegrate for the rest of the team. Ja's in around that 29 mark. Bane's numbers come down. So everybody sort of just takes a hit from Dylan Brooks being back, but the prices aren't different. They're still where they had been with Brooks out. So I think Morant just looks incrementally worse in comparison to everybody else that's out there. Clearly can still be great. I mean, 1.47 fantasy points per minute over the last 30 days for Morant. If you want to play Ja Morant against Oklahoma City, you're not going to be upset about having him in a lineup. I just don't think he's as cost efficient as some of the other guys at the top now that Memphis is starting to get a little bit healthier. Same situation sort of for Bane for me, for Jaren Jackson for me, although obviously, Brooks doesn't affect Jackson from a playing time perspective. I mean, we've got Jaren Jackson, 19% owned, the highest owned guy on DK. Can we talk about the fact that he just doesn't play big minutes?
Can we talk about the fact that he's always seemingly over-owned? I mean, you're right. He doesn't play consistent, even when they've had guys that were absent from these games. He still doesn't feel like, even you still don't get that 36-minute game. I know you did against Boston like a couple of weeks ago, but 26, 20, 25, 13, that whatever, 24, 27. Like if you're projecting him for minutes today in a game where they're 12.5 point favorites, how can you give him more than 27, 28 minutes?
He has averaged 25.8 over the past 30 days.
Right. And he
averages, I gave him
27
and I usually give him 30. And I'm looking at it and it's just like, he doesn't do this.
He averages 27 on the season.
Yeah. It
is.
Do I want him? Yeah, sure. It's a great spot against Oklahoma City. Like Isaiah Roby's not going to be an issue and whatever other idiots they're running out there to like it. It'll work. It's fine.
Yeah. But dude, there's another thing too, is he's constantly in foul trouble too. There's just so many red flags with a guy like Jaren Jackson. It's not to say that he can't go out against OKC. And I'm not trying to talk out both sides of my mouth here because I generally try not to get a lot of Jaren Jackson if he's going to be very popular, because just the chances that you lose because you don't have a semi-chalky Jaren Jackson are very low, right?
I agree. It's so like this
also
year,
Dylan Brooks is back.
Right. This year is different though for Jackson. I don't know why the playing time isn't there, but he doesn't foul like he used to. He's like normal now instead of atrocious. That's a benefit. 47
well, before it was like before it was untenable to the point where if you played him, you just couldn't get through a game without foul trouble. Now he's only averaging 4.6 fouls per 36, which is still well above the league average, but not the 5.9 from last year.
4.2% foul rate this season, 47th percentile among bigs. So he is like a functionally normal big when it comes to fouling now, instead of this dude is definitely not going to be able to play his full run of minutes.
Right. No, recently though, been rough with this dude, I haven't looked to see like how impactful they were on how many minutes, but like 6 fouls, then 1, 5, 3, 5, 5, 4, 2, 5, 4, 5. Again, I don't care if you get 5 fouls, just space them out. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't care if you have 5 fouls every game.
No.
Just make it so you're not catching 2 in the beginning.
Absolutely. So I like getting to him, and I don't disagree with the ownership, even in this entire conversation that we're having. He still was the guy that came out of my sim higher than anybody else on this team, but I'm very, very skeptical of Memphis today just because of the reintegration of Brooks. If Brooks happens to be out, then you're bumping up Bane's usage a little bit. You're bumping up Morant's usage a little bit. They both look a lot better than they do at this moment. But if Brooks is in, I'm treating like I don't really want to go crazy on Memphis. I just don't trust them. And, they're 12-point favorites in Oklahoma City against what is basically a G League team with Shea.
Pretty much. Speaking of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, this guy, no matter how many points they lose by, granted, last game, brutal. That was just, an extreme outlier. But he has been spectacular since the All-Star break. Every single game. And the crazy part about this isn't just that he's dropping 30 plus every night. It's that he's dropping 30 plus and then they lose by 30, 27 to Milwaukee. And then he drops 33 and they lose by 37 to Minnesota. They lose by double digits to Utah. He drops 33 again. They lose by 21 to Sacramento. This is all over the past 2 weeks, and he has 37. So you get my point here, Josh. Oh, here's another one. They lose by 20, 32 against Phoenix. He's still playing 35 minutes in most of these games.
It's insanity. He's the only thing with a pulse out there. 1.51 FanDuel points per minute over the last 30 days. Just absolutely nuking everything. I think his ownership is fully warranted today. If they're going to stay in this one, it's only because of him. I think he looks fantastic. And I want to give a shout out to their coach. Do you have any idea what Oklahoma City's defensive rank is this year?
Yeah, it's top 10 last I looked. I think it was
they're 16th right now. Obviously, a couple of those blowouts as of late with, no Dort and the rest of the team. They're playing a lot worse players over the past 2 weeks, so it's gotten a little squirrely. They've given up 124 points per 100 possessions over the past 2 weeks, which is bad.
I'm telling you, at one point it was top 10. I'm almost.
Oh yeah. They've been really good defensively, and I don't think anybody knows. But 124 points per 100 possessions over the past 2 weeks will definitely make your defensive rank drop.
Wow. Yeah, so they've come down considerably.
Which 6 of the dudes they're playing are not real NBA players. I mean, you can only patch it together so much.
Yeah, of course. And honestly, the fact that they managed to maintain a decent enough, defensive rating for that long is extremely impressive. So yeah, before the trade deadline, right? So from October through the 8th of February, they were 10th with 108.7 points allowed per 100 possessions. That's good.
Yeah, it's really good.
But now,
for what they are, that's really good.
Things have changed.
Yeah. Play SGA and I don't know, take a shot on Roby or Baisley, I guess. Or maybe you cross your fingers and you hope you get that Aaron Wiggins game again that came earlier this week. But the only bright spot here is Shea. It's not even close.
How many minutes are you giving the Roby?
I gave him 30. He looks good, not great.
He's played a lot of minutes lately.
He has.
A lot.
One of those things where you don't have any choices. You just got to do it.
Who are they still without? I mean, they've still got to be without mostly. So Giddey, obviously, Dort done for the year. Kenrich Williams done for the year, right? Favors is out. And then
Ty Jerome done.
Yeah, Jerome. We're still waiting on Trey Mann, but I'm just thinking like from a center position.
Muscala done.
From Muscala. And then obviously Robinson Earl was another one that was getting those starts. He's out. I think Roby could play another 35 today.
Wouldn't be surprised. There's certainly upside in his minutes. They could also get their asses beat and everybody plays like 26 minutes.
Right.
Except for Shea. Shea's minutes aren't really going anywhere, but
that's the crazy part about Shea, dude. Is like, I know he played only 31 last game, but that was because he was just wildly inefficient. I mean, that was like, all right, Shea, take a break, pal. 2 for 15. But losing by 30 games, the guy gets 35 minutes. Truthfully, that's like the safest thing you could ever get in DFS is a bad team with no other high usage players. You're going to shoot 20 plus times a game. You're going to have like a 30. What's his usage rate since the break? It's got to be like 38%.
I assume I got him in for 35 here. It's got to be bigger than that though, since the break.
Yeah. Like 38, 40%. And even if you get smoked, you're still going to play 35 minutes. You can't ask for more than that. I know he's expensive, but just,
and if it stays competitive, like it's competitive because of him.
Only reason. Yeah. Except that one game where like Roby went off and I said, this game's not going to be competitive unless it's Shea. It's fine. Shea still hit the over. So what's it matter?
That'll work.
Yeah. It's a good spot, man. All right. What do we have next? We got Jordan. What do we got next? I went a little out of order. Okay. Indy and Atlanta. Let's do that. Hit that thumbs up too. We're at 65 thumbs up. We got over 350 people watching. Appreciate all you being with us. Who won the DK final? Do you know?
I do. Wait, that, like the one that Adam was at?
Yeah.
Garns 222 got first and third.
Oh.
Also won the Mega Millie 2 weeks ago and got first the week that Adam got third in golf. So on a bit of a heater. Not really.
I don't really know much about him either.
Neither does Adam, apparently, but should have talked to him more per Adam.
How did Adam finish?
24th.
Well, that's not bad. Okay.
He swapped Mitchell Robinson to KJ Martin, and that one cost him 60 G's.
Yeah, but at least it's not coming out of it. You can qualify for these finals depending on how much you spend and come out in the red pretty bad, but that won't be the case. So I think he at least locked in a profit on that. So
I can't believe he played KJ Martin.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to do some stuff.
That dude's his nemesis, man. He's fucked up his lineup so many times this year because his name keeps changing. I was like, dude, get away from that. That guy's not made for you.
You have to think he was like, you know what, this guy's done me so dirty. This is the redemption. You know,
when he showed me the lineup, I was like, I cannot believe you're doing this, given the amount of times that you weren't able to get your lineups in because his name changed. I'm not kidding. Like, it's at least 3 times this year that Adam's like, I didn't get to submit my stuff at 7:00 because KJ Martin's Kenyon Martin Jr. today.
Screwed everything up on it. Yeah.
I was like, can you just fix that problem permanently?
Right. Yeah. Dude, I don't know at this point.
The answer was no, evidently.
I know that Indy also is. So by the way, these first 3 games over time, 12.5 point spread, 12.5 point spread. This is an 11 point spread. Indy on the road against Atlanta. So if you're fading guys due to blowout risk, this is probably not the slate to do that because 3 of the 4 have double-digit spreads. Malcolm Brogdon's out. I was a little bit surprised that they were 11-point dogs. That isn't to say that they're a good team, but surprised me a little bit here. They are playing their second of a back-to-back, though, right? On the road. So there's that. How do you want to approach guys like Halliburton and Buddy Hield today?
I like Halliburton quite a bit, even more so on FanDuel than I do on DraftKings. But with no Malcolm Brogdon, Halliburton sees even more usage and even bigger assist rate. I've got him in for 22% usage and a 38% assist rate at $9K. To me, that works. He's 8,900 on FanDuel. I think he's under-owned there at 18%. After that, I find the rest of the team to be like pretty normal. You know, no issue going to Buddy Hield in his big minutes. No issue going to someone like Chris Duarte, who should get like something like 30 to 34 minutes. He's 4,800. You get shooting guard, small forward. So he really fits in a lot of lineups. I'm not usually super excited to get Duarte. He's like a 0.85-ish fantasy point per minute guy, but the flexibility of the $4,800 price tag, shooting guard, small forward, guard forward, utility on DK. That's the big benefit. Those three guys are the guys that I'm looking at most. You can take your shots on the O'Shea Brissett, Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jacksons of the world. They are lineup filler. They're last guy in type stuff if you want to make a pivot. But Buddy Hield, Halliburton, and Duarte are very clearly the three best options here. Depending on what kind of lineup construction you need, you can go any. I think Hield is last of the three. Depending on if you need more raw points or less raw points, that's where I would flip flop between Halliburton and Duarte. I think they look pretty similar.
I don't normally yell for likes. I politely ask you to atone for your sins if you've forgotten. You must have missed the days where Josh would just threaten to cancel a show for likes. I mean, times have changed.
I was just trying to get out of the show.
How many minutes do you get? How do you break down the center rotation today or the front court rotation with these guys? Because you've got Goga Batadze yesterday played 21, right? Isaiah Jackson played 24. It kind of sucks because all of these guys are pretty decent per minute producers, but we're kind of reaching that like maximum capacity now where you don't have the same luxury as we did when they had all of those centers out. And you're like, okay, lock in Isaiah Jackson or hell, Jalen Smith for 30 minutes and just play them.
Yeah, they're cannibalizing themselves now. So like I gave Goga 20 minutes. It's probably not something you want to get to. I gave Isaiah Jackson 23 minutes. That's fine filler if you want to think that he can get a couple extra minutes due to foul trouble. I gave Jalen Smith 26 minutes. He's not getting any ownership. So I think a flyer on Jalen Smith in a large field GPP isn't the worst idea in the world, but again, I don't see a lot of priorities here. 11-point dogs, matchup against Atlanta. It just doesn't feel like a good spot. Okay.
Jordan saw me sneeze off the camera and he's like, right before you sneeze, you always look at your ring light. I told you the light makes you sneeze. It helps you sneeze. I was caught in like sneeze purgatory there.
That's the best feeling though.
It is, but not during a show when I know you're almost done talking. So when he flips back onto the screen, it's just me sneezing.
Well, what are you gonna do?
What's a good feeling? Sneezing or the sneeze purgatory where it's just lingering?
The sneeze foreplay is the best.
You think so?
Yeah. Where it starts to like tingle up there.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's because I got this monster beak on my face. I feel it a little bit different.
Yeah, you could smoke cigarettes in the rain with that thing, huh?
I don't know what that means.
You don't?
No, but I'm sure you probably do that as long as the rain's cold.
No, I'm saying you wouldn't need a roof to keep the cigarette dry.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know this whole like cigarette smokers union nonsense that you've got.
It's just a funny joke. The thing is, I've never even noticed that you had a big, like significantly big nose because you're always looking front on.
Yeah, I do.
Right?
Though. Yeah.
It's not like a Sam Ficken type nose. See, Chat gets it. Chat knows that was a solid one. Kickstar Loughy got A tier. I mean, that's just solid. My hockey coach when I was 8 years old told me that one, along with like a joke that someone, I can't say that.
Go ahead, man. What was the joke that your hockey coach told you when you were 8? This should be really appropriate for a child.
It wasn't, but like, his kid was there. My dad was there and everyone was just like,
Things were different in the early 90s.
Times were different back then, right?
Yeah.
Like my dad was telling me jokes that, look,
you can't use a lot of the words in that joke any longer.
No, it wasn't even like that. No, it wasn't like that. But
well, I mean, I have those too.
Yeah, we all do. I was born in 87, bro. I was born in 87, right? So the 90s were a wild time.
They were. I do.
A great time though. I wouldn't change that for the world. Growing up in the 90s.
I had so much fun.
Me too. Go out, play hockey, run the bases, baseball, whatever it was, come back in, do quads.
We were the final non-internet kids.
100%. But I had internet as a kid. I did, but it wasn't like I had the old, my dad got a computer with internet when I was like 6, 5.
Interesting. Well, you're way ahead of the curve. Like I got it in 8th grade, and that was like I was ahead of the curve.
It was one of those old Apple ones. Like I didn't even actually Macintosh
Okay, so that's a little different. I had a friend that had a Macintosh as well.
You know what I'm talking about?
But I think his dad had like business to do on it too.
And I'll never forget, I'm a kid. And
Oregon Trail, baby.
They still had pop-up where it would be like Pam Anderson, XXX pop-up. It would go up.
That's the best.
I remember my dad comes over my show. I was a little older at this point. I wasn't 6. And he's like, don't you fucking click on that. You know? But
meanwhile,
you go outside, you do all that stuff, and then you come in and you gather up the boys and you did some quad screen N64 GoldenEye. I mean, that was the life.
Good times.
That was the life, right?
Good times. It's the best.
Sure was.
It's the best.
You pick up the phone not knowing that someone else is on the internet and it's screaming at you. I miss those days.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
I don't miss that part. That part sucked.
No, but I miss growing those days.
I don't miss trying to download Forgot About Dre and it taking 18 minutes.
Yeah, right. Napster. G Brown, born in 87, definitely not under 33. I'll be 35 in a couple days, in a week and a half.
Yeah.
And Josh is like, were you born in 85 or 86?
85. I turned 37 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, man.
Sucks.
Good time.
Shit hurts when I wake up, man.
It's the truth. I had like ringing in my ear lately.
Damn.
Doesn't get any easier, huh? It's not going to get any easier than that.
Mm.
Atlanta. What do you want to do with the Hawks here? Coming in, they're big favorites, and should I say too, over the last month, Indiana has one of the worst defenses in the league. Last I looked, it's like 29th in defensive rating. It's been a real struggle there. So Trae Young could just go nuclear in this spot.
And I like Trae Young quite a bit. This is the number 3 offense in basketball. Let's not forget, it's the defense that hasn't been there. The offense is spectacular. Trae Young's 35% owned on FanDuel, 26 on DraftKings. I completely agree with it. I think he looks great. I got him at 1.4 fantasy points per minute in this spot. Matchup against Indy's fantastic, 34% usage and a 47% assist rate. If Trae Young isn't shooting or passing the ball, I assume that he fell over and didn't make it down to the other side of the court because he's basically involved in every offensive action so long as he's on the floor. Loading up there on Trae. If you want to cast it gets tricky because Bogdanovich, Herter, Hunter, Collins, Gallo, these guys are all sort of positionally flexible. You can really move it around and like anybody can really grab the 32 minutes in that particular game. So I like getting to all of them. I think Atlanta in general is under-owned, whether that's 5,800, like Collins has been bad. He's 5,800 power forward center and 3% owned. There's going to be a time where John Collins just plays 30 minutes again. So if you want to get out in front of that, Indiana's probably not the worst way to do it. But I like going to Bogdanovich, to Hunter, to Herter, to Collins, to Gallo to an extent, but I think the ownership's already there. I think Atlanta is underrepresented today.
I think so. In this particular matchup, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What pace are the Pacers playing at recently?
I have Indiana at a crisp 14th. 14th.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not particularly slow. They're just trash defensively.
Correct.
Top option from here, not named Trae.
Ooh. Bogdanovich because of his positional flexibility.
Okay. I like that. Hey, Yahoo Fantasy, Josh. Did you know all you got to do is use the link down below or the one that Jordan Klein's about to put in the chat and get a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum?
Yeah. Click that link. It's awesemo.com/Yahoo-promo.
Or you could do that. But it's everything on the site. Everything. Other than Fantasy Cruncher add-on because we don't own that. But
Correct.
We do host it, and you can get that as well. Boom Bust tool, the top stacks tool for all of our other sports, the ownership, player projections, you name it. We've got it all. Lineup builder, and it's not just for basketball either. Any sport you can think of that has contests out there, we got content for it. NASCAR, you got some NASCAR today? You had UFC last night. Did you stay up for that?
No, not a single second. Oh, actually, that's not totally true. when I laid down in bed, it was the second round of the main event. I watched the second round and the third round on my phone, and then I set it down because I didn't care.
Dude, you stayed up. How'd you manage to stay up that late?
We were out. I went out. I had a couple drinks and stuff for the dinner and everything. So it was a different kind of night.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't even know who the main card was. Honestly, I didn't watch anything.
Ankali
main
and
event.
Thiago Santos.
All right. Must not have been that great if you fell asleep or you were just drunk. But
Oh, I just didn't care.
No,
I
you
didn't care about it at all. I just knew that it was on and it was going to be the main event. I watched it for a little bit and then I definitely didn't care.
But we've got like the MMA pro plays, the top fighters tool.
Yeah.
We got the ownership. We got the projections for that. That's what I'm saying. It's for like all of those sports. Same stuff for PGA, for NASCAR, for esports, basketball, baseball is going to be back. Take advantage of it, fellas. All you got to do is click, sign up, and deposit. I think it's $10. They don't say that anymore, but I still think it's $10. And then Yahoo will give you $10 back in free play. And if you just enter a paid contest, they'll give us your email. We'll hit you up, get you set up. And if you want to expedite it, you want to get on it quicker and get in, just email us at support@awesemo.com. Get in the $25,000 Sunday night baller tonight and use all of our tools that have Yahoo built into them as well. So take advantage of it. $90 value, everything on the site. And all you have to do is sign up. You got to use the link. Apparently, we had hosts just telling people to sign up and forgetting to tell them to use the link, which kind of defeats the purpose, because if you're going to get the free month, we need to know where it comes from. So yeah, do that. And we'll see you over there. Oh, and join our premium Discord as well. Get in the office hours where you got the pros answering your questions, helping you better your DFS game. Great community over there on top of that. So hopefully we'll see you over there. Get in, get the free $10, the YSRPs and stuff, and $90 value at Awesemo. Use the link.
Boom.
Sign up at Yahoo. All right, Josh, 2 to go here. Next up, game 4, Houston and the New Orleans Pelicans. Houston getting 5.5 on the road against the Pels. And I mean, this just goes to show you that what a bad team the Houston Rockets are. If Brandon Ingram and McCollum are out and Houston is still a pretty sizable dog, but Christian Wood is not on the injury report. So now we had a Houston team that was looking pretty interesting over the past few games with Christian Wood out and some other spots. And now it's just, and by the way, Şengün, what a disappointment on Friday. But I digress.
Overrated.
Dude, stop it.
I mean what I say.
Greg had something to say to you. I told Josh that Şengün will be an all-star in 3 years. And Greg goes, the only reason I disagree with you is because I think it'll be before that.
That's so dumb. So dumb.
All right. Well, Houston's healthy. Do you like anything from the Rockets today? Because New Orleans isn't exactly a great team on the other side.
No, and I don't really like much from Houston if they're at full strength here. Highest owned guy in this game for Houston, FanDuel or DraftKings, is 11.8% owned Jayshawn Tate. Now,
and that's on a 5-game slate, which says
right.
A lot.
I like Kevin Porter more than the 5% ownership that he's getting. I like Jalen Green more than the 10% ownership he's getting. I think both of those guys look better than Tate, but I don't think that they look great. I don't think anybody's misowned here. I don't think we're missing out on any sort of major plays. What we're really hoping for is that this game is a little bit more interesting because the Pelicans aren't very good without Brandon Ingram and without CJ McCollum. So if you want to play the starters, the Jalen Green, Christian Wood, Porter, Gordon, Tate types, I think that's okay. I just find Houston to be wildly uninteresting, and I'm shocked because I didn't expect that. It's a 5-game slate, and I only got 63% aggregate sim odds from Houston. That is really difficult to do.
I would think so. Someone asked what I thought about the Amari Cooper trade. It's fine. Would they give up like a 5th and a 6th?
I don't know. It's the fine. NFL. I don't understand NFL trades.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, if I'm Amari, I don't want to go to Cleveland. Because
it's Cleveland.
After what?
Because it's Cleveland.
Well, after seeing what happened to OBJ there, I'm not saying that, that the same thing is going to happen with Amari, but it's not the spot that I'd love to be at right now. You have Dak throwing to you and then Baker Mayfield. Maybe you just have a higher target share. I don't know, but
and Fields is a Browns fan, which would make me want to never play football again.
Why? What's wrong with Fields?
I mean, what's right with him would be the first question you should ask.
Are you talking about
Go ahead. No, what am I talking? What?
The guy like in Discord or subs?
Yeah.
I never thought Fields was all that bad.
Oh, you must not go to Discord then.
I don't anymore that often.
Yeah.
No.
Atrocious.
New Orleans was mega popular the other night.
Yeah.
We've seen some price hikes here, Josh. Devontae Graham's up to DraftKings pricing because I'm not going to go across the board here. 6,100. Najee's 46. Joe Val's 83. Alvarado's 39. And how about Trey Murphy? Coming out of nowhere. Rabashua asked us if we thought he would start, and it was a valid question. I was saying in that I thought it was probably likely that just given the complete lack of offensive firepower, that you probably would not see Tony Snell start, or not probably wouldn't, but there's a chance that he wouldn't. He ended up being an afterthought in that game. Yeah. But it was Murphy, who also didn't start off the bench, that shocked the world, Josh.
He did, and I don't have any real interest in him today at 5K, but boy, oh boy, do I like the rest of this Pelicans team. Devontae Graham, Herb Jones, Jackson Hayes, and Najee Marshall are all 45 to 50% owned on FanDuel. I completely agree with all of it, although Hayes, to me, is the best play of anything on the Pelicans. Hayes is also 30% owned on DK, but he gets power forward and center eligibility. Jackson Hayes was my number one contender on both FanDuel and DK today. New Orleans is very clearly the best team that you're going to get to. It's not close. That's what happens when you take on Houston. Big time pace up spot, worst defense in basketball. So even with no and value, because there's no CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram, load up on the Pels. Graham, Jones, Joval, Hayes, Marshall. If you want to take shots on Murphy or Alvarado, there's value there. This is the best spot on the day. It is not close.
Do you think if this game is competitive, or if you think this game, let's say it's competitive, what do you think the closing lineup is?
Graham, Jones, Joval, Hayes, whoever's playing the best out of Marshall, Murphy, Alvarado?
Probably.
Like there's four of them are pretty much set in stone.
It's kind of funny too, because last game, the closers, even though they were down by like at one point 27 points towards the end of this game. Marshall closed the game out. Hayes played the entire fourth quarter, and then Alvarado, Trey Murphy. So yeah, like two starters closed that game out despite literally being down by 27 points with a few minutes to go. Kind of interesting.
I'd be surprised if Joval didn't close, but
no, he should. He didn't come back. He didn't come back after the third quarter. So
no,
I don't know. But this is a little bit now. Granted, they were only 2.5 point dogs in that game and got shit on. It was bad.
Also true.
Against Houston today, you have to just assume, given the spread and everything, that this game stays close. So yeah, you're right. Best team on the slate, hands down.
Yeah.
You're not getting the same value and pricing as you were last game, but a lot of them are still pretty cheap, right? Like they're not priced out of play.
No, not at all. Not at all. Like Alvarado is still only 3,900. He's a fantasy point per minute guy. That's worth the shot if you think he's going to get the minutes. I'm team Jackson Hayes, which I don't enjoy, but doesn't.
Yeah, I was on Alvarado last game, and he comes in, first man off the bench, played a decent amount of minutes, and he was just very underwhelming. But doesn't mean it's going to happen every game. Like you said, I think that's a very good point, though, that you made, just to hit on that one more time, that this does feel like one of those spots where when you're looking at your bench guys, whoever's producing probably gets the bulk of the minutes and is in the closing rotation.
Right. Yeah. Like if Najee Marshall's starting and not playing very well, they don't have any problem going to someone else to try to spark that.
No, not at all.
They've got nobody's going to definitely get some of this run. That's for sure.
No. Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. Let's kick it off with this. No free content today, but you guys know you can always go to awesemo.com/join, do an express pass for less than $5. All of that stuff, single sport, all sports, a month, a week, a year, if you want to make a real investment. However you want to play that, we got you covered. And the NBA monthly is $29.95. All of the tools I talked about earlier. I do need to say too, Josh, that Breaks of God is a place where you can catch a break with the potential to net a couple $100,000 with less than $100 investment. Now, look, we all know you don't go over there and say, all right, cool, less than $100. I'm coming in here. I'm going to catch a $100,000 card, right?
You could.
No. Of course. But that's the thrill of it, to know that it could happen. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And look, the same thing with playing GPPs too. Like the odds are against you each day, but when it happens, if it happens, it's a beautiful thing. What would be the most expensive card right now for like a player that's active in the league?
Luka rookie auto, probably.
Okay. Yeah.
Just off the top of my head.
Like, what would a Cade Cunningham rookie autograph go for?
Nothing too crazy, but I don't know. I can tell you if you want to know.
Yeah, while
Cade
you look
Cunningham.
it up, Breaks of God is the latest sports card collecting trend to catch fire in America, and it's how sports card collectors of all ages are building high-value card collections without huge investments or risk. It's quickly become popular and an economical way for sports fans to get potentially high-value or rare cards without having to buy a $1,500 box or a case themselves. You got all the sports out there and many slot options available for under $100 so you can get in on the big money action. And Breaks of God breaks dramatically increase your odds of getting big money premium sports trading cards for a fraction of the cost of expensive, hard to get boxes. Every one of these boxes is broken from sealed premium boxes live on Instagram, and then the cards are shipped directly to you when the live break is over. Slots are limited, so get in on it now. And if you want to get 30% off, solid deal here, 30% off your first break, go to breaksofgod.com/A30, A like Awesemo, A30, breaksofgod.com/A30, and get 30% off your first break. Also, make sure to follow them on Instagram at Breaks of God.
Yeah, a couple of people are mentioning like LeBron card. Like, I know you weren't asking me about LeBron in that. You were asking about like more youthful players than LeBron.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I mean,
I don't think you're caught off guard by LeBron having the most expensive card in this group.
No, of course, and honestly, like Top Shot was the same way. But I'm talking about. Yeah, you knew what I meant.
Yeah. For me to tell you LeBron, you weren't gaining information there.
No, exactly.
No shit. He's got an expensive card.
So what's a Cade? Like
somebody gave up less than some amount under 6,500 for his RPA.
Is that like a highest
rookie patch auto? So It's got a jersey, an autograph. It's a 1-of-1. You can get a decent Cade auto for a couple $100.
Okay. And Aaron Gluck said John Morant. Yeah, John Morant too. I mean, he's got
Morant is climbing big time too.
He's got to be up there for sure.
Yeah, I mean Zion was peaks and valleys though, my man.
Yeah, that crumbled just like his knees. All right, John.
Not ideal.
I'm just kidding.
To be fair, it's more his feet.
I know. That's why I was joking. But
the people that are like, "Oh, John Morant should have been the number 1 pick in the draft that year." Stop talking, people. You're wrong. I
don't know. I think there's a good.
Let's not act that like when Zion's on the floor, he isn't one of the 10 best offensive players in basketball. Zion didn't do anything wrong other than just be like hurt and potentially too into food.
Hey, Embiid got himself back on track. That was a Chick-fil-A Shirley Temple guy, you know?
Right. Yeah. It's he was enjoying the trappings of United States fast food. That's for sure.
Trappings. Lakers.
Yeah, like let's remember Zion Williamson is 21. Let's not maybe assume that his entire life is over because he hasn't played yet.
Yeah, 21 stones.
Yeah. Like Joel Embiid, did he play a game before he was 21?
That was a good joke and you missed it.
I got it, but I don't know how much a stone is, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Okay. So Joel Embiid hadn't even played an NBA game yet at Zion's age.
No, I know.
And people are just like, what a bust.
I honestly think 21 stones might be accurate because a stone, I think, is 14 pounds. So
21 stones is 294 pounds.
I mean, that's a pretty accurate statement right there.
It probably is. I mean, Zion's listed at 284 on Basketball Reference, so you pretty much nailed it.
Not bad. All right. What do you want to do with LeBron right now? The guy is playing remarkably well recently. He's dropped 70 plus in three. Look, he is.
He's himself. He's literally himself.
Okay, but he wasn't playing like that even after Anthony Davis went there.
1.42 FanDuel points per minute the last 30 days, which is exactly the same rate that I have in him on him.
I was talking about the last 3 games where he's just been dominant. That's
YouTube sample size.
But it's not though, because LeBron just has at this rate. If they're going to make any type of push to like get into the playoffs, it's all LeBron James right now. Not trying to be. I'm telling you, Josh.
They don't have to make any push. They've made the playoffs.
Okay. All right.
They're making the play-in no matter what.
All right.
Like they don't. As weird as it sounds, like they can't fall. And that's really the issue here.
I disagree. We're seeing a different LeBron James right now.
No.
It's okay.
No. They're fine. They're fine. They're shitty. It doesn't make a difference whether they make the play-in or not. They suck. They're going to get the absolute shit beat out of them no matter who they end up playing.
Totally agree. But LeBron James playing peak level basketball right now. Not a good matchup against Phoenix, but what do you want to do with him? All right. So all of this, he's LeBron, he's fine, this and that. Do you have any interest in him?
At 11-8 on DK? No, not really. I mean, again, he's LeBron James. He's a 1.4 fantasy point per minute guy. It's not like he's not a guy that I would roster. But if we're asking me if I want to get to LeBron James or Joel Embiid today, I would like to get to Joel Embiid. If you're asking me if I want LeBron James or James Harden today, I want Harden. I think LeBron looks more like Ja Morant today than anybody else. I'd rather have Shea. I'd rather have Trey. I'm just not. Look, a matchup against Phoenix is not a great spot for LeBron.
No, it's not. I said the same thing. I agree with that. I mean, the Lakers are just a team that I have very little interest in targeting right now. Russell Westbrook, at least on DraftKings, he is still overpriced even without Anthony Davis. I
would like to play him at 7% ownership today.
Really? Even at 8,100?
Yeah.
I don't see
Why not? I mean, he played 31 minutes and got benched.
Well, that's exciting. Yeah, that makes me want to get to him.
Yeah, because he can imagine what he would have played if he didn't get benched.
All right. What's he producing over the last 30 days, if you want to use that sample?
0.95 fantasy points per minute.
Right. Okay. There you go.
That's not crazy. Like, people think that that's bad.
It is.
It's not good. It's bad for him.
It's bad for 8,100. There is no 2 ways around it. There are no 2 ways around it.
Yeah, but I also don't think that he's a 0.95 fantasy point per minute guy either. And I don't project him well. I project him with 49% true shooting. Like, I still think he sucks.
But I'm saying, what about Westbrook anymore is appealing at this point? He's not coming close to the same rebounding numbers as before. His assist rate is down considerably from where it was, and he's a bad shooter.
Yes, he is. He is all of those things. But opportunity rules the roost here on a 5-game slate. And if he's 7% owned and he's playing 33 minutes today, I would like to take a shot at Russell Westbrook.
All right, fair enough. You want
it's
to take
not
shots?
Look, I don't. It's incredible how much I rallied against this dude now to now become like the staunch Russell Westbrook defender.
Contrarian at heart.
Well, yeah. That's the thing, though. I think he's the best play on the Lakers today.
Not saying much, but I get you. Who's the best play on the Suns? Devin Booker?
Yeah, it's Booker. 10-4 on FanDuel, 9,200 on DraftKings, which is just insane with no Chris Paul. 32% usage rate, 24% assist rate. I mean, he just runs the show now. But I'm happy to get to Payne. I'm happy to get to DeAndre Ayton. I think all three of those guys look pretty similar. They're all pretty similarly owned as well. I would rank them Booker, Payne, Ayton, but I want to get to all three of those guys. JaVale is getting 15% ownership at 3,500 right now. Nah, I'm good. Oh, clearly I get it, but like if everybody's already there, then that's not the center that I want to try to take.
Cameron Payne's interesting, man, because this guy has turned into a pretty decent basketball player. Not a bad backup to have on the Phoenix Suns when Chris Paul goes down at all.
No.
And he produced the one thing that's kind of nice about him is he can produce in a variety of ways. Like obviously Booker's back, but even in those two spots, he hasn't been that bad. The Lakers are atrocious, as we pointed out. Payne's coming off 37 minutes. Booker was underwhelming last game, but he's going to play if his game's relatively competitive, 37, 38 minutes. So if you were to just go down the list, prioritizing these guys after Booker, who is it?
Booker, Payne, Ayton are all basically the same for me.
Okay.
And then Bridges would be my fourth, just because he's going to play 37 minutes or more in a competitive game, especially in a matchup against LeBron. You might even see him a little bit more out there. I don't know if that's a big benefit because he just doesn't get the usage, but I'll take my chances on the Bridges minutes.
Okay. Hey, anything else before we head out for the day, Josh?
I don't think so. I think we're good. I mean, keep your eyes peeled to news and stuff. We'll have shows later tonight. Make sure you're going to watch High Stakes with myself, Neil Orfield.
Yeah, man.
It was posted up on Friday. You can go to our YouTube channel to check that one out.
Check it out. I think it's in podcast form as well.
Yeah. Contenders videos are both out for today already, so go watch those.
Boom. You got NASCAR live before lock at 2:30. Check that out too. Check that out. Ruoff Mortgage 500. Yeah. I mean, I watch that every year.
I can't get enough of it. I bought more TVs just so I don't miss anything.
I don't watch that stuff, but I do enjoy dabbling in a little NASCAR DFS, even though I don't know anything about it. I just take our tools and listen to what these guys say. NBA Deeper Dive at 4 p.m. NBA Live Before Lock at 5. I mean, just is EMAC? Oh, no. EMAC's not running a double. I thought EMAC was pulling a double. Aton and Eric, EMAC and Terry, those guys taking you into the next work week. So let's hang out through the rest of the day. Follow Josh at Josh Engleman, myself at Loughy_D. Hit that thumbs up before you go too. We'd love to have you here. Part of the team. Hit that subscribe. And Josh, we'll be back. You and me. I don't know. When are we back? I guess Adam's back on. I don't know what's going on with the strategy show anymore.
We'll be on Thursday of next week for the One Gamer. We're banging out two of those bad boys.
About that.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks to Jordan Klein as always. And well, have a good rest of the weekend. Peace.
Later.